Thanks to the support as a channel member, Justin Parsons. I broke all the players. Hello and welcome to part 4 of Rebuilding Arsenal. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have a couple of pretty tricky games. We're at home against Tottenham in the North London derby, and we're also away against Manchester City in what I imagine that's going to be quite a tricky tie as well. If you're excited about that or enjoying this series so far, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. A 5,000 like target again today would be amazing if we could achieve it. Every thumbs up really helps to keep the momentum of the series going. So thank you to those of you who have been supporting the series with your thumbs ups and your comments and all that other good stuff so far. If we could keep that going, that'd be super. Since you were last with me, this is what's been going on. On the pitch, form-wise, we've turned things around. In the last episode, we ended with a little bit of a worry where we'd lost 3 of our previous 4 Premier League games. We continued to look a bit iffy when we drew at home to Burnley, but since then we've won 5 on the bounce, beating Leicester, Brighton, Norwich, Crystal Palace and Aston Villa, meaning that we're back up to 2nd place in the Premier League, 4 points behind top of the table Liverpool. And by all accounts, I think if you were an Arsenal fan and that was the situation you were in on 1st of December 2021, you'd probably be pretty happy about it. What that doesn't quite tell you is the impact that playing a GEGENPRESS for 13 games in a row. In fact, we had that one game against Chelsea where we played the vertical tiki-taka, but playing a high-pressing, high-tempo game for 13 consecutive matches, it has an effect on a squad, and our medical centre is looking a right mess. We've got 5 players currently suffering from injuries: Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard, Zagadou and Martinez. 2 of them major, 3 of them moderate. Smith Rowe is just recovering from injury as well, and other players are on the verge of getting injured. It's fine. I promise you it's fine. So this is the team that we're going to be putting out for the North London derby against Spurs. We're having to start Emile Smith Rowe, despite the fact he can only play 45 minutes. Basically, the plan is at half-time, Lokonga comes on and we switch to a 4-3-3 at that point. I think we need to go with our tactic that we know works to start the game. We are just running very, very low on attacking midfielders. The fact we're having to play Tavares on the left wing today, again, not ideal, but we're just running out of players. We talked about it in one of the earlier episodes, episode 2, episode 3, whenever it was. You know that my final signing for the summer was going to be Kingsley Coman, or at least someone who could cover these areas. And as you can see, this is why. We knew there was a gap in the squad here, and that gap in the squad is now becoming something of a problem. So we're going with Ramsdale in goal, a back four of Tierney, Gabriel, Ginter and Tomiyasu, Partey and Kessie in midfield, Tavares, Smith Rowe and Pepe behind Balogun up front. There's arguments that we could go to a 3 at the back here. Tavares could be left back, Tierney could go and make that into a back 3. But I don't think Spurs is the time to fiddle around with the tactic too much. There's another argument that we could start with the 4-3-3, but again, the only times we've used it, it hasn't really worked. So I think what we have to do is stick with the tactic that we've used to win 5 in a row, even if it means playing a left back on the left wing and an unfit player as our attacking midfielder. What's the worst that could happen? It's a learning experience. We're still in the very early days of FM22. If this goes disastrously wrong, then we'll learn from it. We'll build on this experience. And next time we break all the players because we're pressing constantly far too often and tiring them out and not adjusting the training to account for it, we might learn from it. I feel like I'm doing this in this series, so you don't have to do it. I'm single-handedly proving that the guys at SI might have been right when they said playing a GEGENPRESS all the time might not be a very good idea. What is a good idea, though, is throwing Balogun in the side, because I think this is his first start of the season, and he's just rewarded us with a first goal of the season. Well, excellent work from Thomas Partey in midfield, and then plays the pass through to Balogun, and it's a very calm, excellent finish from him to put us 1-0 up over Spurs. We might be the walking wounded. The squad might be falling apart from a fitness point of view, but on the pitch, things are still going far better than we ever could have hoped for. It's 1-0 with half an hour to go, with half an hour gone, sorry. And Spurs currently have an XG of 0.01. I don't even know how you achieve an XG of 0.01. They've had one shot. It was on target, but it was presumably from so far out and from such an obscure angle that XG's kind of acknowledging, okay, I guess you did have a shot on target, but it doesn't really count. But it's on there. It's in the record books. Right. Oh, we were supposed to make that change at half time. Just, we're chatting away. You lot are distracting me. Right. This was our pre-planned substitution. We're not going to change anything else. We're going to keep with the GEGENPRESS. We're not going to send anyone a bit more attacking. If anything, what we're doing here is trying to lock down the game a little bit. We've got our lead with our tactic that we know works, and we've now got the 3 hard men in midfield in there to just try and stop Spurs from playing. That's the plan. Restrict them, stop them from playing, and just lock the game down from here. Kessie with the shot from range that skims off the top of the crossbar, but unfortunately doesn't end up in the back of the net. A second goal there would have been absolutely beautiful. Spurs are on the attack though, but crossing to absolutely nobody, but it's kind of worked in their favour because the cross evaded everybody the first time round, including any of our defenders who might have been there marking a player in the area. And Reguilon has been able to just cut it back to Son, who's entering the area very late. And yeah, it's just very poor defending from us, very poor marking. And now my whole plan of locking the game down kind of goes awry because we've only really got Balogun and Pepe on the pitch who you would consider attacking players. This is not ideal. It is still only 1-1 though. If we can just survive this match without losing, I think in the circumstances with all the injuries we've got, we'd probably take that. Pepe on the right-hand side. It ends up bobbling free to Tomiyasu. We know he's got a cross on him. The only problem is he's got no one to aim for today. Tavares is there and gets the head onto it, but you've got to believe if that's Aubameyang getting onto the end of that cross, we might be 2-1 up. Cross now from Pepe from the free kick, but again, nobody's there to get on the end of it. Tomiyasu is going to pick the ball up deep again, gives it to Lokonga, back to Tomiyasu, Lokonga again, and now Kessie back to Gabriel. We're keeping possession of the ball quite nicely. I love the fact that we're maintaining this line in Spurs' half. Just pin them back. Don't let them come at us. This is why we don't want to drop back and start defending as we get into these matches. And what a goal from Lokonga. It's his first goal for the club. And you couldn't ask for a better goal at a better time. It's just about to hit the 70-minute mark, and he's hit an absolute screamer from what must be 35 yards out, maybe not quite, maybe 30. But all the same, it's perfectly placed, wonderful power on the shot. We're 2-1 up, and game plan is back on. We can just try and see the game out. The only problem is, again, everybody's really tired. Right, we're going to take off Tavares, and why didn't I start Aubameyang? I think I'm officially resting Aubameyang at the moment. I think it's one of the you can tell I stopped for a beverage break between picking the team and starting the episode. Aubameyang, I actually had one of those meetings and said I was going to rest him. I'm obviously playing him regardless. We're going to bring on Xhaka as well, who could actually be a little bit of midfield creativity for us. That's a nice change to be able to make at this point, bringing on Xhaka and Aubameyang. I probably should have noticed Aubameyang was there a little bit earlier. In my mind, he was injured, but of course he wasn't. I just wasn't playing him. Brilliant. This is the problem when the FM22 beta, we're leveling with you now. This is the problem when the FM22 beta comes out at 8 o'clock on a Thursday night and you're driving to London on Friday morning and you've got to record 5 videos on Thursday night. It's currently 1 a.m. I'm not a nighttime person. It's 1 a.m. on Thursday night and I've still got one more video to record to come out tomorrow because I'm at London all weekend for London Comic Con. The things I do to get content out for you lot, luckily, you all reward me for that with likes on the video, comments, subscribes, and of course, by pre-ordering the game using my discount code at the top of the description below. So it's all worth it. I'm not doing it out of the kindness of my heart. It's my job. I haven't done a lot for the rest of the week previously, so I guess it's fine. I'm still just going to do my normal hours this week. They're just all condensed into this evening. And because of that, I forgot Aubameyang exists. But we beat Spurs anyway. Now let's go and do the same against Manchester City. Right, we've officially run out of attacking players. So we're away against Manchester City. I promised I'd try it at some point. We've got all these fit centre-backs. So let's try the three at the back with the wide centre-backs. Why not? We're doing it basically on a fluid counter-attacking mentality. We're just trying to do something that avoids relentless pressing. If you have a look in the... Let's just kill this one. If you have a look in the descriptions of the tactics, the three that I like to use all involve high-intensity running or relentless pressing. So we're wanting to do something that's more about soaking up pressure, sitting back, letting the players have a bit of a recovery game. My theory being we're probably going to lose against Manchester City anyway, but you never know. We might just be able to pick up a draw if they can't break us down. So we're going with, hold on, why have I got, what the heck have I done here? This is not the combination these players were in when I picked this team. That's weird. It's kind of moved everybody around. Is there anyone else in a weird position? I think I had them like that. So we've got the three hard men in midfield, and then we're going with the two. That was so weird. Going with the two wide centre-backs and the wing-backs. We're only putting on a support mentality. I'm not going to be too fancy with it, but I want to be keeping an eye on Gabriel and White in this match just to see what kind of antics they get up to. You can see Aubameyang is still officially resting, but needs to start because we're going with two strikers and we don't really have another one. Martinez not fit enough to start yet. And I guess Pepe's going to be down there on the bench to come on if we need an impact player, but he's tired as well. We're running out of players. So it's Ramsdale in goal, a back four of back three. Sorry, I'm so used to it being a back four. A three of Gabriel, Ginter and White with Tierney and Tomiyasu as wing backs. Kessie, Lokonga and Partey in midfield, and then Aubameyang and Balogun up front. Like I say, it's just all about sitting back, soaking up pressure, and hopefully not losing. But it's away against Manchester City. Even if we do lose, we kind of budgeted to lose at the start of the season. So it's worth using this game to experiment, I think. My logic is sterling. You know, we'll experiment in one of our hardest games of the season, if not the hardest game of the season. This is where we'll experiment with a tactic we've not even used in training before. But we're 20 minutes in and there's been no highlight. So to me, that means it's probably working as intended, because the whole purpose is we're playing for a 0-0 here. That's exactly what we're doing. We're looking for a 0-0, whilst also, if there is a highlight, keeping an eye on what the wide centre-backs are up to. And if they can kind of get up into these areas and get some kind of overload going in here and get the ball forward to Aubameyang and Balogun. 0-0 at half-time, not a single highlight in the first half. The plan is working perfectly, but this is where it could be undone with a set piece. Manchester City with the corner. I would like to think that with the three centre-backs and the three attacking and the three central midfielders we've got, we shouldn't be that susceptible to conceding from corners. You'd think we'd be a bit more of a threat for scoring from them than we showed there, but apparently not. Ben White from range. Oh, that would have been a thing of beauty. I don't know if he's so far forward because he's a wide centre-back or because he's just retreating from the corner. I didn't track which direction he was running in before taking the shot, but now we have a highlight. Gabriel getting a little bit further forward. Tierney trying to play the ball forward to Aubameyang and it doesn't get there, and now the ball over the top, and it's Kyle Walker attacking down our left-hand side, and Ginter's there to head it clear. But it ends up with Kevin De Bruyne, who I hear is quite good at doing a football. So we probably want to keep an eye on him and stop him from getting the breakthrough. Sterling, and I don't really want to talk about this guy. Lokonga playing the ball into White and then back to Ramsdale, who plays it forward to Balogun, who's got time to take the ball down, but probably should have looked to do a little bit more. You know what? I'm a bit thrown by the fact that he's in the game. I would have assumed he wouldn't be. Suspension's been lifted, clearly. And now De Bruyne has scored, and it's all thrown me, and I'm not very happy about it. But we'll look at the replay just to try and track what's going on here. Sterling's got between two of our centre-backs, dragged them both out of position, and in actual fact, they've signed Ferland Mendy. So ignore all of my upset from before. It's Ferland Mendy. We're fine. We can get back and focus back in on the video now. I'm going to say, was very disappointed with you there for a second, Sports Interactive, but I'll let you off. Goodness me. I had all sorts of, do I just delete this match from the video and just do the next one? All of that's going through my head. We're fine now, though. Right, we're going to bring Tavares on at left back. We're going to have to bring Maitland-Niles on at right back. The two fullbacks are shattered. They've done a lot of running today. And for my final change, I think we're going to get Pepe on, and we're going to bring him on for Kessie, and we're going to go a little bit more attack-minded and go to something like this, where he can be there as an inside forward on attack, and he can be an inverted winger. And now, really, we should be properly overloading those wide areas. Whether we do or not is a different thing entirely, but we're going to drop a little bit of encouragement and see if we can generate anything in the way of an attack. Because as you can see, we've only had one shot on target in the entire game, and that is one of the reasons why I don't ever like to do counter-attacking tactics or defender-heavy tactics, because I just don't see how you're ever going to give yourself a chance to win a football match when you only have one shot on target. There goes our consecutive winning run. There goes our unbeaten run. But we had run out of players, and hopefully we now get a little bit of a rest for our next match, a week off before we have to play Liverpool. Hopefully that gives us some time for some players to recover, and you'll find out in tomorrow's episode whether we recovered and got back in form again. Tomorrow's episode, it's going to be in January. It'll probably be the last couple of matches of January, Brentford and Man United, and finishing off the January transfer window. I think that's probably going to be the plan for tomorrow. And what we've learned today is in that January transfer window, we really do need to bring in an attacking player of some description. We've got a little bit of money to spend. We're going to try and get Rob Holding out the door. And hopefully between those two things, we should be able to attract some kind of attacker so we don't ever have to play a nasty negative tactic like that again. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.